Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football YouTube channel. Welcome to the Brentford preview. We are just bang, 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 game after game at the moment, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It is a Tuesday. There is Premier League football tonight, which could be interesting. Spurs hopefully going to go and get battered away at Newcastle, and Fulham against Man City, which we will be keeping an eye on. But look, we've got to focus on Brentford, and there are loads of you here, which we love to see. If you could subscribe, we're on the way to 27,000 subscribers, and if you could click the like button down below, early doors, it does massively help me, and I would be grateful. Emily, Vivi Vlad, Ethan Udall, Sam Berry. The question is, do I watch the games tonight or finish my uni assessment due in tomorrow? I would probably finish the uni assignment and then just watch the highlights. That is probably what I would do. But welcome. David Baxter is here as well. Welcome. Fredo, Cheyenne, Thorga, Taylor, Encryption, Carter's here, Pekka. Welcome. Obviously, we'll go through Mikel Arteta's press conference. Keith Andrews has been speaking as well. And we'll talk about the kind of rotation dilemma that we have on our hands, because I do think it's for the not the first time actually, because we've had this a little bit with the injuries that we've had, but I have no idea what the right decisions are for tomorrow, and I think whatever Mikel Arteta does, people are going to get angry about it. Are you going to the game tomorrow? Yes, I will be there. Have you watched Stranger Things? I have. I think the latest season of Stranger Things, final season, is a little bit overhated, to be honest. I've seen a lot of criticism. I don't think it's that bad. Best Rory vid about the Biscoff advent calendar earlier. It's a disgrace. It can't go on like this. It can. What else was I talking about? Stranger Things, there's that. What else was I talking about? Can't remember. Oh, yeah, by the way, I was on Inside Gooners today with Adrian Clark and Harry Sameo. That will be out. If it's not already out, it'll be out later on today, I think. So, if you want to watch me, Adrian, and Harry talking about the Chelsea game and previewing the Brentford game too, then feel free. Saka not in training, not in any of the photos. Good. Honestly, I'd rather he wasn't training. I'd rather he was in a jacuzzi enjoying himself at this point. No, hopefully that is. Hopefully that's nothing significant. But yeah, I caught a live from the beginning. It's Christmas Miracle. There we go. I've got the Christmas jumper on. By the way, this is from Classic Football Shirts. I'm a big fan. Good Christmas jumper if you want an Arsenal one. It's got Invincibles 04 on the back of it as well. This Brentford game is the definition of a banana peel. I think there's a lot of banana peels this week. I think for City away at Fulham, that's a tough game. I think Chelsea away at Leeds United, Elland Road at 8:15 on a Wednesday night. No Caicedo, probably no Reece James. Even Sunderland for Liverpool, even though they've been bad away from home. I do think there's a lot of banana skins. Have you been watching Pluribus? I have been watching Pluribus. Very good show. Do you think any more Brentford tickets will come up? Yes, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. So I think now it's kind of back to being a sellout again. But last night and earlier on today, there were genuinely hundreds of tickets available for the Brentford game. I got mine maybe 11 a.m. this morning, maybe midday. And there were about 55, 60 tickets on the ticket exchange when I got mine. So, yeah, and I would imagine they will keep popping up. And the ticket exchange is open to all members. So even if you didn't enter the ballot, you will be able to access the ticket exchange. So, and it's also category C. So it's literally 35, 40 quid, which is as cheap as you're going to get for a Premier League game. So, yeah, all things considered, if you can go, go. Do you apply for the ballot for every game? I do. I do apply for the ballot for every game, yeah. I think I've won it twice this season. I won it for the North London Derby, which was incredible. Good afternoon from the US. Do you think Semenyo or Yildiz will be in an Arsenal shirt in January or the summer? I don't think either of them will be in an Arsenal shirt in January. I would love it if Kenan Yildiz was in an Arsenal shirt in the summer. That would be the dream. Who do you think we should rotate? I'll get onto that in a second. We'll get onto that in a second. For now, let's get into Mikel Arteta's press conference Bit of good stuff, bit of bad stuff, to be honest with you. The latest injury news. Now, he said, I'm not going to be able to help you too much because we have another training session later on. Until that happens, we won't know what's going to happen with a few of the doubts that we have. The latest on William Saliba, he had a little niggle. So I think it's going to be a matter of days. So let's see if he's available to be there tomorrow. And the same for Leandro Trossard, a matter of days as well. Now, does that mean they'll be available tomorrow? Do you just, make sure that they're definitely fine and wait until Aston Villa on the weekend? Probably. I wouldn't risk either of them tomorrow if they're not fully fit. But we'll wait and see. So close to being a bad word. I know. Do you know what? So often I just avoid saying it. Like, even though it's a perfectly legitimate word, and I absolutely can say it. Sometimes I just don't, just in case. But the latest on Kai Havertz. This is the bad one, in my opinion. Now, he says it's a matter of weeks. Let's see how it evolves over the next few weeks. He's doing really well. He is doing stuff on the pitch, but I think he needs some time. That is really disappointing. Because even in the build-up to the Chelsea game, he was grouping Gyokeres and Havertz together. He was saying Gyokeres and Havertz were really close. Gyokeres and Havertz were going to have a couple more tests. And then you see Gyokeres in the squad for Chelsea. You're thinking, Havertz must be close as well. And now he's talking about seeing how it evolves over the next few weeks, which could just be a lie. That's I'm hoping that is just a lie. And that actually Havertz is really close. Because and he's conceded that Havertz did have a setback. But that was weeks ago. I'm certain that setback was weeks ago. So I don't really know. Arteta is a pathological liar. Yeah, basically. What's the link to the Discord? I'd love to join it. The link is down in the description. If you go down to the description, at the very top of it is the link for the Back Post podcast, my podcast. But below that, you will find a link to the Discord. We miss Kai so much. Rotate him and Gyokeres will be great for the new year. Yeah, it's crazy that we're in December and we've not actually been able to rotate Gyokeres and Havertz yet. Like, the whole game plan was to be able to rotate Gyokeres and Havertz depending on the game that we were playing. We've not been able to do that yet. It's nuts. And on Big Gabby as well, he said Big Gabby is doing very well as well, but that is also weeks away. So, yeah, frustrating. On Brentford, this was an interesting, well, not interesting, but he was really trying to make a point here on facing Brentford. He said it's an opportunity tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. Everybody, 7:30 p.m. kickoff to be at the Emirates bouncing, putting energy to win the game. That's the opportunity that we have tomorrow. 7:30 p.m. Are you understanding? Like animals, everybody at the Emirates to go again and beat Brentford. It's vital. It's massive. I think that is an acknowledgement that within the fan base, and hopefully not the players, but possibly within the players, off the back of a really big week, everyone's lost the energy, right? We need to make it a proper atmosphere tomorrow. Because it will. Brentford are going to be up for it. They'll make it a really tough game. We can't be low energy because then the players will be low energy. They need us to get behind them. On resting players, he said, we try to manage every case, every individual in relation to how they feel in the context of the matches, adjust with the only purpose to have the best options on the best pitch and to be better than the opponent. That's it. Didn't offer much. Whether there will be an opportunity for Ben White, he said there's an opportunity for everybody, as I said. Obviously, he's not going to turn around and say, yeah, Ben White's starting at right back tomorrow. He was asked a question about Christian Nagel, about him being a leader, the role that he can fulfill and the role that he's going to have here. Interestingly, this on David Raya, there was a couple of things that were interesting about this. On David Raya, he said he's an amazing keeper. It's a great story as well and how it happened. We tried to sign David much earlier. It was as soon as I arrived almost, and he had to wait another 2 years. The start that he had and the journey that we had together has been phenomenal, and I'm very happy to have him. And apparently, so it turns out, so Arteta wanted David Raya basically straight away. Now, we know we went round the houses before that happened. Apparently, when David Raya was at Brentford, Brentford had the playoff final to get into the Premier League. I think it was against Swansea. If Brentford had lost the playoff final, there was a clause in David Raya's contract meaning they would have sold him. But because they won the playoff final, and he kept a clean sheet in that playoff final, he then ended up staying at Brentford for another 2 years. So that's kind of crazy. I'll get to Highbury and Islington for 7:30. You'll be in your seat at 7:15, sharpish, ready for the 7:30 kickoff. It's hospitality. Ooh. Someone's got money. No, Rory. If you had to get someone from the team to massage you, who would you want? Bit of an odd question. I assume you would just have to go for one of the keepers, right? Good with their hands. I guess that would be the play there. I'm not really sure. Back post taking over pitch side slowly but surely. Hey, I don't think we could ever. The thing is, I think we're very different to pitch side. But no, they're top of the tree. They are top of the tree. But I appreciate it. Look, one step at a time with back post. The launch of back post has been unbelievable, though. I'm telling Sam why the tickets are so expensive. Oh, right, yeah. If you go on there and the only tickets available are like 100, 200 quid, that's club level or, well, yeah, club level, basically. So, is it just me? But I have a really good feeling about the Brentford game. I think Ødegaard cooks. Hopefully. We'll talk about Ødegaard when we go through the team, to be fair. He spoke about injuries and how annoying it's been, how difficult it was to have all of the injuries in the attack, and then now we've got them in defence as well. On Kai Havertz suffering a setback. Here we go. He said he was doing everything. He could not go to the next level, and now it's looking like we've unlocked that. We're all desperate to have him. It's a player that personally I love so much for what he brings to the team. His character, his personality, I see him suffer being outside. His playing record is phenomenal. He's always been available, and I can't wait to have him back around the team playing now because I think it's going to be a massive boost to the team. Again, that's just a bit confusing. I feel like this is just a bit confusing because now he's saying that he's gone to the next level. He said he couldn't go to the next level, and now it's looking like we've unlocked the next level. And I can't wait to have him back around the team. I don't know. I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's not weeks, or if it is, it's like 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? But we'll wait and see. And then on William Saliba's injuries being random, he said, well, the ankle one, it was a really random one and a very unlucky action that kept him out for a few weeks. He tried at Anfield, but he wasn't comfortable, and he had to stay away on this one as well. Very bizarre, but hopefully it'll be a matter of days. So again, don't really know what that injury is. I think it's muscular, but difficult to know. To be honest with you. In terms of Brentford's team news, there's not a huge amount of it, to be fair. Basically, where is it? Here we go. Keith Andrews. All Keith Andrews has said on their injuries, Brentford have a few bumps and bruises, and they'll have to decide on that at some point. So he's really given nothing away. Now, we know Igor Thiago went off with some sort of knock. The thing is, right, that squad are not used to playing 3 times a week. Or twice a week. Like, they're not used to playing midweek. I would surely, right, if they've got bumps and bruises, they've got Spurs at the weekend. Spurs is a much more winnable game than the Arsenal game. Spurs is also the Thomas Frank derby. This is the opportunity for Keith Andrews to get one over on his teacher, right? Surely they don't take any risks for the Arsenal game if players have got bumps and bruises. You just wouldn't. I hope, anyway. So that's the answer to that question. Any news on Igor Thiago? No, basically not. I hope Saliba hasn't stubbed his toe after the shit I gave my mates who support Chelsea. No, I don't think it's anything like that. I do think it's something muscular. If you had to play in the Arsenal 11, where would you play? In goal. I'd play in goal. I used to be a goalkeeper, and it's probably the position on the pitch that is the least... Like, when we're at our best, David Raya basically doesn't have to do anything. I could potentially go through an entire game without needing to make a save. So that is where I would play. Is it correct that Arsenal have been fined because of the amount of yellow cards on Sunday, thanks to an incompetent ref that lost control of the match? It is true. It is true. Arsenal were fined £25,000 because we accumulated 6 yellow cards in a game. Apparently, that is a rule. I would be invoicing that directly to Anthony Taylor, to be honest with you. Defensive record is shaking with Rory and net. I'm keeping clean sheets, mate. I'm keeping clean sheets. Thoughts on resting Timber? Yeah, look, we'll get into that. Let's get into the team that I would go for. Let me just get this off the screen and let me bring this up instead. So, in terms of the lineups, I think for Arsenal, it's a really difficult one because the thing is, right, we're already rotating by force at centre-back. So we've got Mosquera and Hincapié, you would assume are going to be the centre-back pairing. We've been forced into that by injuries, but that already means that your back line has taken a couple of rotations. So then you go right back. Now, for me, like, if Ben White can't start a game like this, we're in trouble. Because if Ben White can't start a game like this, he can't start 90% of Premier League games. And if he can't do that, is that really depth? When we talk about the squad that we've got and the depth that we've got, if we can't use that depth and we don't genuinely have faith that we can use that depth in a game like this, is it really depth? So Ben White, for me, should start. That said, bringing Ben White in, who's looked a little bit shaky in the few minutes that he has had this season, with Mosquera and Hincapié, and then even at left back, I'm like, there's a few things at left back, right? So Calafiori is on is 1 yellow card away from suspension. Excuse me. So if Calafiori was to get booked against Brentford, he would be suspended against Aston Villa. That would be a problem. However, Miles Lewis-Skelly hasn't looked brilliant in the last few times that he's played. Certainly not against Bayern Munich or against Chelsea. We're also lacking height. Without Gabriel, without Kai Havertz, we're lacking height. Calafiori is significantly taller than Miles Lewis-Skelly. Brentford massively rely on set pieces, massively dangerous from set pieces. The long throws, the free kicks from out wide, the corners. So I feel like you go with Calafiori and you just don't get a yellow card. And I know that's easier said than done. And Dango Uatara is very good at drawing fouls and drawing bookings and drawing penalties, actually. I think he's won like 3 penalties this season. But I think I would go Calafiori, even though it's difficult. And Calafiori did only play 45 minutes at the weekend. So I don't think he's going to be too knackered. MLS just has to pull through, or Saliba has to be fit for Hincapié at left back. Yeah, if Saliba, so that is the alternative, right? If Saliba was fit, which maybe he is, and Arteta's kept it under wraps, if Saliba was fit, I would go Saliba, Mosquera, and Hincapié at left back. That is what I would do. But I don't think Saliba is going to play because if it's anything muscular, I don't think you risk it. You know, the fact that we took him out of the Chelsea game, we took him out of Chelsea away. If you're not going to risk him for that, you're not going to risk him for Brentford at home, in my opinion. So that would be the back four. So what would be the back four? I think, I just don't know about Ben White, but I think you have to try it. I think you go Ben White, Mosquera, Hincapié, Calafiori. I think that's probably what it would be. Then into the midfield, where, again, definitely I would bring Martin Odegaard back in. If Martin Odegaard is fit enough to start, 100% he comes back in. Brentford are going to be a really difficult team to break down, to play through. I would bring him in. I also think Eze needs a rest. Eze has started a huge amount of games. And then it's difficult with Zubamendi and Rice because, again, I think they need a rest. I'm looking at Christian Nargol. Like, Christian Norgard. Norgard's in the same boat as Ben White for me. If Norgard can't be trusted to start a game like this, when can he be trusted to start a game? Now, if Norgard does start, who do you give the rest to? Because I don't think you can go like Norgard and Marino. One of Zubamendi and Rice is going to have to start. Do you go Norgard, Zubamendi, Odegaard? Or do you go Norgard, Rice, Ødegaard and rest Zubimendi? Or maybe neither of Zubimendi and Rice do start and you go Norgard, Ødegaard, Eze. Or maybe you go Rice, Ødegaard, Eze. I don't know. I really do. But I think Declan Rice, has to be rested. Like, he has absolutely emptied the tank in the North London derby and again against Bayern Munich and again against Chelsea. I think Declan Rice needs a rest because we run the risk of running him into the ground. And I put this out on Twitter earlier, and a lot of people were saying to me, but, we've got to go full strength. We have to beat Brentford. We have to go full strength. We can't afford to rotate. It's too much of a risk to rotate. In my opinion, it is more of a risk not to rotate than it is to rotate. We have seen again and again and again the injuries that we're picking up. And a lot of it undoubtedly comes down to overplaying players. Now, Leandro Trossard was one where before he got injured, I called it. I said, we're playing him too much. He's going to get injured. And got injured. So, yeah, maybe it is a bit of a risk not to start Declan Rice against Brentford. But it's also a risk to start Declan Rice against Brentford. And if you start him against Brentford, he has to start away at Aston Villa. He gets injured at Villa. Muscle injury. Out for a month. Suddenly, that risk that you took playing Declan Rice against Brentford, that's taken him out of 8 games. That's bigger. That's a bigger problem. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to balance it. And this is why, I don't envy Mikel Arteta. And like I said at the start of the stream, whatever Mikel Arteta does tomorrow, I think there's going to be criticism of it. Because I don't think people agree on what the best approach is. If he rotates and we don't win, massive criticism. If he doesn't rotate and we win comfortably, people say, why didn't we rotate a bit? If he doesn't rotate and someone gets injured, massive outroar. So, yeah, it is very difficult. Hand of Arsenal is in the building. And he says, Rory dropping facts. So, there you go. And he says, big up the community. Big up the community indeed. Hand of Arsenal recognises real. And this community is real. I hope you're doing well, though. I do appreciate you being here. And then into the front three. So, in terms of the midfield, what I would probably do is go Norgard, Zubimendi, Ødegaard. And really have Norgard, Zubimendi as like a double pivot and just allow Ødegaard some freedom. I'd then go Saka off the right-hand side, which, that's the one that I'm really reluctant to do. But I feel like we need that star quality in attack still. And you hope that maybe, if we can take a couple of goals advantage, you can take Saka off pretty early in the game. That's what I'd hope for. I do also wonder, and I don't know the answer to this because I'm not a professional footballer and I'm certainly not an attacker of Saka's level. Would it annoy you if let's say you're Saka, right? You're an attacking player. You play all the hard games. You have such tough games against Bayern and against Chelsea. And then what on paper is a little bit of a nicer game where you're going to have more opportunities. That comes around, you get benched. Would you get annoyed? Would you be like, no, I'm an attacker. I want to play against Brentford. Brentford's a game where I could score a couple of... I want to play against them. Or would you just be like, yeah, give me the rest and I'll go again and go away at Villa? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. So, I didn't know Saliba was injured. Maybe I didn't want to panic the fan base the night before and want Chelsea to know. Yeah, facts. This is why Hand of Arsenal for me is the best in the know. Because he knows when to post information and when not to. The biggest thing an in the know can do is know when it's not right to post something, not when it is. Being the first to something is great. Being the first to something and actually having the, the willpower not to post it, that takes something. So there you go. I'd rather rest Saka than play Madueke on the left. Well, that's possible. So again, Saka's an interesting one. If Gyokeres is fit to start, definitely start Gyokeres. Mikel Merino has done an unbelievable shift. Filling in up top, game after game, 90 minutes after 90 minutes. The amount of running that he's put in, the goals that he's popped up with, the chances he creates. The shift that Mikel Merino has put in is outrageous and he needs a rest. So, if Gyokeres is able to start, again, 100% I would do that. And then off the left-hand side, I mean, you could go Martinelli. You could, if Trossard is back, you could go Trossard. You could go Eze, even though I think he needs a rest as well. It will be interesting. Like, this front three, I'd be pretty happy with, to be honest. I would be quite happy with that front three. But it's difficult. It is difficult. And like I said, Arteta will get hate no matter what he does. Marino was in the mix zone after the game, wanting to watch the game back immediately. Elite mentality. I think Mikel Merino is one of the most intelligent players that we've got. I think, like, the way that he reads the game, I think it's so difficult, by the way. If you've never played up top, which he's basically never done, if you've never played up top, in the space of a year, not even a year, to come in and actually learn the role and understand the role in the way that he has done, I think it's remarkable. So, I have nothing but respect for Marino. Unbelievable. Rory, would you want Hand of Arsenal to massage you or David Raya? Again, I'll probably go David Raya. Respectfully. He's good with his hands. What can I say? The way that we're talking about this Brentford game, I'm more worried than I was about Chelsea. No, look, I think there's every reason not to be massively worried about the Brentford game. You know, we said yesterday, Brentford's away record, like if we bring it up on here, Brentford's away record is 17th in the league. They've played 6 games. I think they won 1, lost 5. They don't concede many. That is the one issue. They don't, even away from home, they don't concede many goals. Although I guess that is an average of 2 goals a game conceded away from home. But they will make it difficult, and it's just about getting yourself back up for a game like this. I think that's the most difficult thing to do. In terms of then, you've still got options. I think there are so many options. Like someone just said, you know, you've got Jesus. Jesus isn't going to start. Absolutely not. Jesus won't start. Wait, rejecting HOA? Oh, right, yeah, for the massage. Hey, he's got more important things to do. I mean, so does David Raya. He's got to keep clean sheets, but yeah, Jesus. Maybe you do start. I don't know. It's just difficult. I think it's just really difficult to work out what the right thing to do is. You just have to find the balance of rotating and resting the players that need to be rested, whilst not rotating so much that you don't lose, that you don't win the game. That's the balance, basically. How much do you trust the depth? That's the question. I trust it a lot, but I'm still a little bit worried. Ben White back. Yeah, look, it's also, for these players, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for Ben White. It's an opportunity for Miles Lewis-Skelly again if he plays again. Of course, it's an opportunity for Mosquera and Hincapié playing together. There's lots of opportunity there, and they've got to take it. Would you rather Martinelli or Noni to start off the left? Probably Noni. I feel like it's the sort of game that suits Noni more than Gabby, if I'm honest. There's not going to be space in behind at all. The way that Brentford are going to set up, there just isn't going to be that sort of space. So I probably would go Noni. But, I mean, truthfully, in an idea, right now, if he's available, I'd actually be going Trossard. I think this is a game for Trossard. But I don't know if he's going to be available to start. So it'll be difficult. Out of our team, who do you think will become our future manager? There's a lot of players in this team that will go on to do good things in management. Declan Rice, Zubamendi, Erdegaard, Mikel Merino. Anyone else? I mean, midfielders generally tend to be sort of built for it the best. But yeah, 100%. There are plenty of them. Saka. I don't know if Saka would be a management kind of guy. You don't see many wingers go into management, to be fair. I was just trying to think, like, of all the ex-players that have turned to management, how many wingers have done it successfully? It is largely central midfielders. I do just think, to be a top-level central midfielder, you just have to have such an unbelievable understanding of the game that it benefits them. You know, where you look at, I mean, Fabregas is doing an amazing job at Como. Pep Guardiola was a midfielder. Saka's a pundit. I to be honest, I could see Saka not. I could see Saka taking a completely different path after football. I don't know if he'd do punditry either. Can we try Saka left back once more? I don't think so. I do like having Saka swapping over to the left-hand side at times, though. I don't mind that. In terms of the Brentford team, if Brentford are able to go full strength, this is roughly what it will look like. They have a few injuries. Not really even a few injuries. They've got 2 injuries, and both of them are long-term, and Nelson is suspended but wouldn't be able to play anyway. This is their strongest team. Look, it's going to be very difficult to break down. You know, it's a back 5. Players like Janelt will sit in. Coyote's obviously a threat with the long throw. Sharda's pace is a threat. Thiago's one of the most confusing players I've ever witnessed, to be honest with you. Because if you watch Thiago play, he just doesn't look very good. And yet, he's on 11 goals this season. It's remarkable. But yeah, Sharda for me is the bigger threat just in terms of the pace. But I think the difficulty is just going to be breaking them down more so than conceding goals. Last time we played a back 5 was Spurs. Yeah, the difference between Brentford and Spurs is that Brentford know how to play a back 5. Spurs had no idea how to play a back 5. Spurs somehow found a way of playing a back 5 with 2 holding midfielders and still gave us an absurd amount of space on the edge of the box. How can you play a back 5 with 2 holding midfielders and Ezra still have all of that freedom? It was unbelievable. Did you get invited to Saka's wedding? Not yet. Not yet. I assume the invite's in the post, right? You would imagine so. Prediction. Get your predictions in the chat. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. Which I would be happy with. I'd be more than happy with. Do you know what? This week, Brentford Villa, give me a couple of clean sheets. And I'll be more than happy. It's gone under the radar a little bit. We've conceded 4 in a row. We've conceded a goal in 4 games in a row now. We need to put an end to that with a clean sheet. In terms of the games later this evening, lots of you going 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 1-0, 5-0, 3-1. Realistically, 2-0, 2-0, 3-1. Yeah. There's over 300 of you here. If you could click the like button, it's completely free to do. It does massively help me out. And if you could subscribe, if you're not already subscribed, that would be fantastic. Life without Gabriel? Yeah, facts. It is literally, obviously, the Sunderland game, we did have Gabriel. But we have conceded in every game since he got injured. It was always unrealistic that we would keep clean sheets all season. We need to be objective. Oh, 100%. 100%. That was kind of tongue-in-cheek. But against Brentford, I would like to keep a clean sheet. I would. In terms of the other games, like I said, you got these 3 games tonight. I think Bournemouth will beat Everton. Fulham, Man City, genuinely, Fulham could cause an upset there. They could. Fulham have conceded the second lowest amount of open play XG this season. Only Arsenal have conceded a lower open play XG. To be fair, City have a third on that list. But yeah, Fulham could cause problems for Man. Hopefully cause problems for City tonight. And then Newcastle Spurs. I just hope Newcastle batter them. Seb, my podcast co-host, is driving up to Newcastle with Ben, the other Spurs fan, today. So they're driving up for that. That's a long drive and a long drive back. I hope they get battered. Because we will have a bonus back post podcast on Thursday as well. So hopefully it'll be another trip into the podcast studio off the back of a Spurs defeat. That'll be enjoyable. And then the games tomorrow. Obviously, we've got Arsenal, Brentford, 7:30. I'm so glad it's a 7:30, by the way. I absolutely hate the 8:15 kickoff. 8:15 kickoff. I don't know what it is. 8:15 feels so much later than 8 o'clock. Like, we have 8 o'clock kickoffs for the Champions League it feels normal. 8:15, I'm ready for bed by the time we kick off. It's so weird. Brighton Villa, I actually think there's two things here. Firstly, I think that's a really good game. I think that's a really interesting game. Secondly, it's fairly useful for us that Villa have to go away to Brighton on Wednesday. Obviously, we play Aston Villa in the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday, which Wednesday evening to Saturday lunchtime is a mad turnaround. In the Champions League, right? This is how dumb this is. If a team plays on a Wednesday in the Champions League, they are not allowed to play the lunchtime kickoff in the Premier League. That is a rule. Any team that plays Wednesday evening in the Champions League does not play the lunchtime kickoff on the Saturday. And yet that's exactly what they're doing because it's in the Premier League. What's the difference between whether that game is in the Champions League or the Premier League? Surely the principle is you don't play Wednesday evening, Saturday lunchtime. Is Zinchenko injured? Yeah, I believe so. I don't actually know, but I think he might be. But yeah, so that game would be interesting. Villa are going to have to go full strength. It'll be a tough game for them. Lots of travel involved, and not much time for Unai Emery to then turn it around and prepare for the Arsenal game. So that's good. In terms of the result, I think Villa are going to win it 1-0. Burnley Palace, meh. Wolves Forest, meh. Leeds United against Chelsea. That's one of those banana skins because Chelsea will have had a massive... Firstly, they had to work their socks off against Arsenal at the weekend. Secondly, massive adrenaline dump. Thirdly, no Caicedo. And according to Enzo Maresca, Reece James won't play because he can't play twice a week. Leeds could do something. At Ellen Road, the 8:15... yeah, they could do something. And then Liverpool-Sunderland. Sunderland's away record isn't great. I've seen a lot of Sunderland fans that almost want them to throw the game as well because they're so focused on the Newcastle game, which isn't even this weekend, it's the weekend after. But yeah, that's it. And then I think there is a game on Thursday, isn't there? Yeah, United against West Ham. Who cares? That's just a mid-table. Well, I mean, West Ham relegation. But there we go. Palmer back, though. Yeah, Palmer is back. Yeah, look. They could break Leeds down. Palmer, Esteval. They could. But maybe not. They're the sort of games that Chelsea have struggled in more so than like normal or difficult games. So you never know. The time where Derby will be cinema. It will be. 350 people, 70 likes. That's criminal. 350 of you in here, 70 likes. That means 1 in 5 of you have liked the stream. That is disgraceful. Chelsea always up for big games. Yeah. Well, you look at where Chelsea have dropped points this season. Palace, Brighton, Sunderland. It's not been United, but that was obviously down to Bob Sanchez. ESR beats City, and Nketiah beats Liverpool. Hope Reece can beat Chelsea. But Reece Nelson's at Brentford. Did Chelsea play Brentford soon? Reece Nelson's at Brentford. But obviously they're against us, but he can't play. Now at 120. There you go. You'll love to see it. Well done. Thank you very much. Do the maths, that's 1 goal a game. Hey, do the maths, that is 1 goal a game. Anyway, look, it is time for today's quiz question. Get your fingers on your keyboards. As always, the first person to get it right in the chat wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. Today's quiz question is this. On New Year's Day this year, Arsenal beat Brentford 3-1 away from home. Which 3 players scored? On New Year's Day this year, Arsenal beat Brentford 3-1 away from home. Which 3 players scored? You need to put it all in one message, by the way. It needs to be all in one message. Da 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 right. Who's got it first? This is one of those. I shouldn't do this because it's so difficult to actually figure out who's won. I think this is the winner. This is the winner. Lee is the winner. It was indeed Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, and Mikel Merino. It was not Leandro Trossard. It was not Kai Havertz. It was Jesus, Mikel Merino, and Gabriel Martinelli. I think Nekig was second. Dominic was third. No, sorry. Emil was third. Dominic was fourth. And Danny Fox was fifth. So there you go. There you go. Someone wants a VAR. There's no VAR check on that. VAR, goal given in style. There we go. Ross Lawman, goal given. You absolutely love to see it. There's not going to be a watch along for any of the games tonight, unfortunately. There's just not. But we will be... So tomorrow there will be a video. Oh, by the way, there's another YouTube clip from the podcast yesterday. So you can watch that tonight. And then, yeah, tomorrow there will be a reaction video. Obviously, I'll be at the game, so there won't be a stream. There'll be a reaction video later on tomorrow evening, hopefully reacting to an Arsenal win. But look, other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. I hope we're all enjoying watching Man City drop points and Spurs get absolutely battered. And, yeah, I will catch you on tomorrow's video. If not, the next stream will be on Thursday. But until then, goodbye.